Good morning, YouTube land, my fellow model builders and aviation enthusiasts. This is part 3 of the Revell 1/48 scale F-8 Crusader build. And as you can see, I've got the fuselage halves glued together, and I am in the beginning stages of puttying. And I want to show you the very important intake upper level ductwork there that was omitted, whether on purpose or by mistake by Revell, that they didn't even include it in the instructions, but they included the piece. And this is very important, as you can see, because without it, if that wasn't there, you'd be able to see the bottom of the cockpit tub, plus your intake just wouldn't look right, and the nose would look weird also. So that piece is very important to put in there, and it's just unfortunate they didn't include that in the instructions. Now, as you can see, I'm puttying, and it looks rough right now with the putty, but that's necessary to hide the seams and hide some flaws. Now, if you're not familiar with the squadron putty, whether it be the white putty or green putty, it doesn't matter, it's the same thing, just a different color. This putty can become your best friend. It can also become your worst enemy. You got to be very careful with it, because it's very easy to get out of control. Now, there's different you can put it on with different tools and stuff. I just use my finger to put it on. That may not be the safest way to do it because of the chemicals in it, but for me, that's the easiest way. And you have to keep in mind, anywhere you put this putty, you're going to have to sand. And when you sand, you're going to lose detail. You lose panel lines, you lose rivets, and it's very difficult to get that detail back. You can rescribe your panel lines, but that's a lot easier said than done, trust me. And rivets, forget it. You're going to have a hard time getting rivets. But up here at the front, I kind of got a little carried away, and I'm going to have to be very careful up there. I know my camera is not the best, and it's hard to see, but the detail up there, I'm going to have to be very careful when sanding that I don't lose that detail. This stuff has toluene in it, just like the glue, and that stuff, it eats plastic, and that's how it adheres. This putty adheres itself to this plastic. It bonds itself, and once it's on there, it's not coming off. And just like the glue, if you get a little bit somewhere else where you don't want it, it's going to eat that plastic away. It's going to make a mark there, so you'll have to sand it anyway just to get it to look nice. But when I sand, what I start out with real quick, I use a piece of 150 just to get it down. You don't want to do the whole thing with 150 because you'll just tear the model up. And then I got several different, I'll go with a 360 or a 400 or a 600. Now, I've seen people wet sand these. I've never wet sanded before, and I'm sure it's not difficult. From what I've seen, you just dip it in water and sand it. But I usually just do it dry, and it comes out okay. But from some of the videos I've seen on YouTube, I would be interested in trying to experiment with wet sanding on the models. But and there's the cockpit. And this model, I don't remember the original. Of course, it's been 20 years ago since I built it. The original monogram model having so many fit problems, but the cockpit plus the fuselage halves just did not go together very well on this. It just was very uneven. I mean, I didn't have to really fight with it to get together. It's just nothing has really lined up very well. And maybe this was just a lemon in the mold. I don't know, but I've just been having some problems with it, and so far I just haven't been too happy with the way it's been going together. But once it's all said and done, this will look pretty good. Anyway, I know I didn't cover this very well in the first video with the ejection seat, and I just want to go over this real quick. The correct ejection seat for the F-8 Crusader is either a Martin Baker Mark F-5. The earlier versions had that, or it's a Martin Baker Mark F-7. The difference between the two seats, the earlier F-8s with the Mark F-5, that seat wasn't 0-0 capable. And what that means is 0-0 ejection is when it's 0 altitude, 0 airspeed, pretty much sitting on the runway or on the flight deck of the aircraft carrier. The pilot can eject safely. Well, the Martin Baker Mark F-5 didn't have that capability, and when they installed the F-7, Mark F-7, it had the rocket pack on the bottom. It had an improved parachute container, which was more of a solid like this one here. This is a container that goes on a Martin Baker Mark H-7, like in the F-4 Phantom. But it was the one on the F-5 was the Mark F-5 was similar to this, if not the same thing. It was hard. I think this is either made out of plastic or fiberglass. But the ones on the Martin Baker F-5 were fabric, and this was an improvement to the Martin Baker F-7. Was this hard shell parachute pack, and something I thought was pretty cool. Even though this is the wrong seat, this is the Martin Baker GRU-7A, which is used, of course, in the F-14 and A-6. But with this camera, it's going to be very difficult to see. But on the sides here, there's these straps. These little straps that are connected to what's the parachute pack on this seat. And that's what these are right here, actually. And these are like bungees. And these also go on the side here. They connect once this is packed. It connects down here, and it connects up here. And the purpose of these is once the ejection sequence has been initiated and the parachute starts to unfold, these help just pull away this fabric here so that the parachute can come out, because the parachute would be in there. Now that's my understanding of this. I don't know that for sure, but just from looking at how this works, I think that's what the purpose of these little kind of bungees are. So I just thought I'd share that with you. If you're wondering where I got this off eBay about a year ago. I thought it would just be something cool to have, and it was pretty cool. This was supposed to be for an Air Force F-4, but it was never installed. This thing was brand new. It was never installed on a seat or in a jet, which, you know, is okay. I'd kind of like to get something that was actually up there flying around, though. That'd be kind of cool. But anyway, this is step 3 or part 3 of the F-8 build, and I'll get number 4 here going soon. I'm going to be sanding today and maybe do some assembly of the landing gear, and we'll go from there. So until then, have a good day.